From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Tuesday, May the 16th, 2017. U.S. Ambassador to Israel David Friedman arrived in Israel yesterday and met today with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in Jerusalem, just under a week ahead of U.S. President Donald Trump's visit to Israel on May the 22nd. Netanyahu referred to the expected visit of the president as well as to the issue of the possible move of the U.S. Embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem during the meeting.
We look forward to receiving President Trump, and we want to work with you and with the president these coming years to strengthen our great alliance. We will. Thank you.
Earlier today, Friedman met with Israeli President Reuven Rivlin in a ceremony marking his official inauguration as the new U.S. ambassador. Friedman presented his diplomatic credentials to Rivlin and called his new appointment the greatest honor of his life.
Serving the United States as its ambassador to Medinat Yisrael is the greatest honor of my life. I pledge to you to do all that I can to strengthen and enhance the relationship between our two great nations, a relationship that you accurately described as unbreakable, and to which I would add, it is a relationship as well that is without limits.
During the meeting, Rivlin also referred to the issue of Jerusalem.
Next week, Mr. Ambassador, we will celebrate 50 years since Jerusalem was united and the Jewish people were able to once again pray in the Western Wall. But Jewish Jerusalem is not 50 years old. Since the days of King David, this city has been our capital. At this time, for the whole world to recognize Jerusalem as the official capital of the State of Israel, de facto, and not only de jure. God bless you.
Meanwhile, yesterday, the White House clarified comments made about Jerusalem by an American official meeting with Israeli representatives coordinating plans for the Trump visit. According to Israel's Channel 2, that official told his Israeli counterparts in discussion about Trump's visit to the Western Wall that it wasn't their responsibility, saying that the wall was not part of Israel, but rather part of the West Bank, remarks that shocked the Israeli representatives. The Times of Israel reported later that a senior administration official in the White House told them that, quote, the comments about the Western Wall were not authorized communication, and they do not represent the position of the United States and certainly not of the president. The government of Jordan lashed out at Israel this weekend after one of its citizens carried out a terror attack in Jerusalem. 57-year-old Muhammad Abdallah Salim al-Qasji entered Israel several days ago on a tourist visa from Jordan, and on Saturday he attacked an Israeli policeman in Jerusalem's Old City near the Lion's Gate, stabbing the man in the neck and head. Despite his injuries, the policeman was able to respond and shot and killed the terrorist. The Jordanian government released a statement after the incident saying that the Israeli government, as the occupying power, bears responsibility for the shooting of a Jordanian citizen in the occupied East Jerusalem on Saturday, which led to his martyrdom. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu's office said in response that it is outrageous to hear the support that the Jordanian government spokesman gave to the terror attack, saying just as Israel denounces terror attacks in Jordan, so must Jordan denounce terror attacks in Israel. Terrorism is terrorism, no matter where it is. And Israel's security agency, the Shin Bet, uncovered a terror cell planning attacks against IDF soldiers. The agency announced today the arrest of 3 operatives of the northern branch of the Islamic movement, all Israeli Arabs, suspected of a plot that involves shooting IDF soldiers in Israel's Negev. A historic synagogue in New York City sustained serious damage on Sunday night. Beit HaMidrash HaGadol, located on Manhattan's Lower East Side, burned for several hours before it was brought under control by New York City firefighters. 2 firefighters were reportedly injured in the process. No other injuries were reported. It is not yet clear how the blaze began. The FDNY is investigating. 7 immigrants to Israel are being honored for their contribution to the country. Nefesh B'Nefesh, the organization that eases the Aliyah process for Olim from English-speaking countries, named their 2017 Sylvan Adams Bonnet Zion Prize awardees. They include Professor Benjamin Korn in the field of science and medicine, Beth Steinberg, who's artistic director and co-founder of Theater in the Rough in the field of community and nonprofit, and Professor Gerald Steinberg in the field of Israel advocacy. Lifetime Achievement Awards were also announced for Professor Alice Shalvi for helping to shape the status of women in Israel through education and advocacy. And a Young Leadership Prize will be given to Captain Libby Weiss, head of the social media department in the IDF spokesperson's unit. The prizes will be given out at an official ceremony at the Knesset at the end of June. And taking a look now at our programming for tonight, for Tuesday, May the 16th, at 7 o'clock, we bring you more coverage of the recent Jerusalem Post conference with remarks from Moshe Ya'alon and Dani Chalutz, who talk about the Syrian civil war in regards to Israel and the likelihood of peace with the Palestinians. Followed at 8 o'clock by remarks from Alan Dershowitz, Sebastian Gorka, and Carolyn Glick. At 9, Mark Golub sits down with Muslim-Palestinian Bassem Eid, who founded a Palestinian human rights organization, An L'Chaim. And at 10, Hussein Abu Bakr talks about his journey of imprisonment in Egypt to asylum in the U.S. in a program of the Israel Connection and Stand With Us. And coming up right after this newscast tonight, it's In the News with Mark Golub. And that's the JBS News Update for Tuesday, May the 16th, 2017. I'm Teisha Bader.